Story 1. Telling my mom she can't come to my house when I'm babysitting my nephew? Buckle up. My F31 mom, 53, was babysitting for my sister, Sarah, 26. They had a falling out and mom told Sarah to get all the baby's, 11 months, stuff and not to bring him back. I only know what Sarah told me, and our mom mentioned she wasn't being paid and that the baby's father, Calvin, was being disrespectful to her. But I was also told she called him a racial slur. It's a whole mess. Anyway, Sarah asked me could I babysit for her. It's cheap pay, but TBH I don't really need the money anyway, and I'm the only option she has with her hours, so I agreed to help her out. I'm supposed to start tomorrow. My mom wanted to come visit at my house to see me and my daughter, 6, sometime. I checked with Sarah if she was allowing our mom around the baby because she had mentioned she had our mom blocked. She said she was not, so I informed mom we were going to have to work around our babysitting schedule because Sarah didn't want her around the baby. At first she was all fine about it, but today she asked if she could ask me something without me getting mad. I said sure. She wanted to know how I was going to let someone control who I let come to my house. It was my house, not Sarah's. She even told me to talk to my husband about it for some reason. I told her he and I had already discussed all of this because of course I keep him in the loop about what I'm doing and wanted him to be aware of all the BS surrounding it in case I needed his support, and he agreed I shouldn't go against my sister because that's her child, not that I ever would in the first place. I was like, well, it's Sarah's baby, so her rules, I'm not disrespecting her when it comes to her child. I have tried to stay out of the middle of their issue, and I told mom this. Their issues have nothing to do with me. I just wanted to help my sister since she needed it. Their fight has nothing to do with me and I have no issue with her. I'm just not going against someone's wishes with their child. I told her if she could be upset at me, but I don't have a problem with her, so if she's feeling some type of way about me, it's on her, and while I'm sorry to hear it, I hope everything can still be good with us overall. Sarah and I have a lifetime's worth of trauma from this woman, so I'm just not falling back into that. I also do know Sarah can be untruthful at times, though I'm not saying our mom is lying about things she said, but she's not always trustworthy either. I just want to help my sister, that's all, and be respectful of her wishes when it comes to her baby. Comment 1. NTA, you are doing exactly as you should. You are respecting your sister's boundaries with her child. Your mother is attempting to stomp all over everyone's boundaries to get her way. She even undermined you by telling you to discuss it with your husband, who isn't even involved in this. Don't fall for her manipulations. She's good at it. I also wonder if you aren't healed from the trauma your mother caused because you are engaging with her in this instead of just telling her no and refusing to discuss it with her. Protect yourself. Comment 2. NTA, tell mom that no one is telling you who can come to your house. It was your choice to talk to sister about it and to respect her and abide by her decision. Therefore, it was your choice when mom can come over. Unfortunately, it sounds like your mother may not be very respectful of others, so it is difficult for her to understand when someone else is. Comment 3. NTA. Your mom can visit other days. Just a few more days he cannot visit because you already have other plans, like when you are working or doing something else. Not a big thing, just an issue for her because mom wants to use you to get back at your sister. Just refuse to get drawn into their drama. You are right to stay out of it. Story 2. In-laws feeling unwelcome in our home. So, my husband and I just had a baby about 9 months ago. We set a lot of unpopular boundaries with everyone. One boundary that was set was to call before coming over to our house because my husband is gone during the day and sometimes the baby and I will nap throughout the day if we didn't get much sleep the night before, which happens often. We communicated this clearly to everyone. His family didn't try to come over in the first few weeks, but after then, they would come over at random times and called once when they were 5 minutes away. Of course, I was asleep each time they tried about 3 times, so I couldn't let them in because I was asleep and had no idea they were here. His family was hurt by this. His mom only comes by now when my husband is coming home from taking his older sister home from medical treatment because his mom picks her up and takes her back home from our house. She will usually just wait out in the car until he gets back and won't come in when he does get here. She'll make an excuse like, "I've been sick," or "I'm tired, so I just want to go home." My husband is mad at me for this, but I'm not sure what to do about it. We told her just knock when she got here so I could let her in, but she just refuses to get out of her car. His family is also upset that I apparently don't let them hold our baby. I have never rejected someone in his family when they asked to hold the baby. I always happily hand her off when someone asks. After all, I want her to bond with her family. My husband said tonight that I should offering. It never even crossed my mind that I should be offering. I love holding our baby. Offering isn't really a huge thing in my family. To add to the fire, I brought along my mother to my husband's sister's quinceañera about a month ago and we all had fun, but they noticed that my mother was holding the baby a lot. My mom is constantly asking to hold her anytime she sees our baby, and like I said, I don't say no when people ask. His family took this personally and didn't even try to really interact with our baby after that. My husband and I ran into his mom today and he asked her if she wanted to hold the baby. She rejected the offer and she voiced that she feels unwelcome in our home and was upset about my mother holding the baby at the quinceañera when she didn't get to hold her at all, but she didn't even try to. My husband took her side, which really hurt. All of these concerns were voiced to me all at once tonight. So, I didn't have context while they were happening. I don't want to have problems with him or his family. They have actually done a lot for me. Maybe I'm giving off a weird vibe somehow to them. I know I can be super socially awkward, but I feel like my actions with my family versus his have been virtually the same. I just don't see how this could lead to them feeling so uncomfortable or unwelcome. Comment 1. NTA. Your husband needs to step up and help with this social awkwardness instead of siding against you. He should be asking his parents if they want to hold the baby. He should be making sure they are comfortable. And as for anyone dropping by when you have told everyone you and baby might be napping, that is completely stupid. Do your in-laws really not remember what it was like to be up all night with a little one? If your Mill actually wanted to hold the baby, she would have jumped on it the minute her son asked her to. Instead she pouts to get some kind of leverage over you, and sympathy and attention from her baby, a son who isn't acting like a grown man here, and he's giving that to her. Comment 2. Your husband's family needs to get a grip. Calling before you show up on someone's doorstep is common courtesy. Pouting because you, at first, didn't offer your Mill the baby to hold. What, is the woman mute that she couldn't ask? And then refusing to hold the baby, when offered, is patently ridiculous. NTA. And this is your husband's family. He needs to straighten them out. And defend you. Damn. You have my sympathies. Comment 3. All of the issues that your in-laws are experiencing are of their own making. You are NTA. You asked them not to stop by without calling ahead. They came anyway and are upset that you didn't break your boundary, or read their freaking minds. They think you should offer your baby to them. That's just a creepy way of handling a baby. Hey, you wanna hold my kid? No, not how that works. Your husband. He needs to get with the program. He is not home alone with the baby. He doesn't get to decide what you do while you are. Story 3, not letting my friend move in? So I, 35F, live in a one-bedroom apartment with just my dog, my cat, and myself. One of my friends, 33F, that I have known for about 20+ years recently broke up with her boyfriend, 39M. She lived in his home that he bought alone before they got together. They were together for about 5 years. I'm not sure what caused the breakup, but my friend asked to stay at my place on the couch for just a few days until she got her own place. Here's the problem. I told her she could stay 1 week and then she needed to be out. My place isn't that big and she sleeps dang near all day. I hated being forced to stay in my room until she woke up. I couldn't even make a cup of coffee in my living room until she woke up, otherwise she would scream at me. After the week, I woke her up and told her she needs to clean up her mess, she is very messy, and go. It wasn't until about 10 a.m. that I woke her up, but I was done. She started screaming at me to get out of her room, my living room, and leave her alone. Where I live, unless they live at a residence for 30+ days, I have every right to kick them out. I started cleaning up her stuff and told her she had 1 hour before I called the police. She is now telling all our mutual friends that I said she could fully move in and then changed my mind. Everything that we talked about was either over the phone or in person, so I have no proof of our agreement. Our friends are 50-50 at the time. Should I have given her more time to find a safe place to stay? Or should I have made a legal agreement on paper before she stayed? I do feel bad, but it's my place and I shouldn't be forced to stay in my room until she chooses to wake up. Edit. Thank you everyone for the comments. I sent a group message to everyone, including those who don't agree with me. I told them I'm sorry for how they feel, but I don't have room for someone to move in. I also said that I am not going to hide in my room just so someone can sleep the day away. I have a dog that I have to take out to go potty. I also like my morning coffee and breakfast. A lot of them have apologized and said they heard that I let her have my room while I slept on the couch. Haha, yay, right. Edit 2. Just so everyone knows, I didn't threaten with the police or only giving her an hour until after she started throwing and breaking my things. I also did remind her daily she only had a week and asked if she had made other arrangements yet. Comment 1. NTA, you gave her a week and she agreed to it. She knew the deal before sleeping on your couch and to disrespect you when you ask her to clean up after herself. Yeah, that is not okay. Do not give her any more time, because then she will have one, because she gets what she wants, and that is to stay, and she will believe that she can treat you like shit and get away with it. If your friends take her side in things without listening to your side of it, then they are not worth it. Comment 2. NTA at all. She doesn't sound like a friend. I know you guys have been friends since you were teens, but what kind of friend acts like she has been? Screaming at you when you offered to let her stay on your couch and basically take over your home for a week? How dare her? Then, tell all your mutual friends that you agreed to have her move in? First of all, it is absolutely shitty of her to do to you after you graciously let her stay with you at all. Second of all, even if you had agreed for her to move in, it is no one's business if you decided you changed your mind after her behavior. You shouldn't be judged by your other friends regardless. Makes me wonder, did she lie on purpose about that, or is she so delusional that she really believes you did invite her to move in? She reminds me of my alcoholic narcissistic older sister. If your other friends believe her and are judging, then they should take her in and see how they like it. I'm sorry, but I'd double-check my friend group if I were you. Comment 3. NTA. I'd have kicked her out the first time she yelled at me for trying to move around in my own home. You did her a favor and she decided to take way too many liberties with your kindness and generosity. Story 4. Telling my husband I don't want to give up my whole week with family for something that isn't really urgent. My 38F husband, 35M, has a long history of getting a bee in his bonnet for something and that he suddenly wants done immediately. Often, he actually pursues something up to a point and then changes his mind. 2 prime examples: he just had to have our daughter's ears pierced at 16 months, his culture, which is not easy after a year. I called many places before finding a piercing/tattoo shop that would do it. I made the appointment, he was okay with it the whole way, but suddenly, like 2 hours before the appointment time, he changed his mind. I told him that was super messed up and unfair to do them, but he insisted and even yelled at me over it. Then he blamed me for the shop not letting him make another appointment. Another incident happened a couple of weeks ago. He decided he wanted a stationary bike ASAP. We found one on Marketplace and I had plans to meet them. I cleared my day, and that seller cleared theirs. 15 minutes before time for me to leave, he tells me he's changed his mind. There are other examples, but these 2 are the biggest in my mind. I work out almost every week, He works FT but our schedules are different. Because I work nights, usually appointments, doctor visits, and such things fall to me. That's just how it works. But that can also often mean I might not actually enjoy a day off for weeks at a time, whereas he has every weekend off and he does things he enjoys with our daughter while I am working and sleeping. This time, after living in our house for almost a year, he has suddenly decided that this week is the time we absolutely must have plastic sheeting laid in our crawl space. The problem is that this week is when his mother is here from his home country, my parents are here from my home state, and our daughter turns 2. We have plans laid out and I am getting her birthday party ready. Without talking to me, he made 3 different appointments during the exact middle of the day on 3 separate days this week, which means I will be stuck at home all day. Where we live, we have to take a ferry boat to go anywhere, so no reasonable chance of going out before or after the appointments. I told him this doesn't work for me to give up my days off this week to sit at home, especially when we had plans. Now he's upset and acting passive-aggressive like I don't want to handle any responsibilities around the house. He asked his mom to just stay home to meet the contractors and told me to just go do whatever you want in a huffy, clearly annoyed way. But that means his mom has to stay here, so I guess I'll end up staying anyway. I would be fine with them on a different week or some other time, but this just wrecks my entire week, which was already planned. I don't think I'm wrong here, but he thinks I'm being ridiculous. I also think, because of his track record, that he's very likely to get all 3 estimates and do nothing with them. He could prove me wrong this time, maybe. Or is it ridiculous to keep screwing with my time like this? Not to mention my parents' time. Comment 1. NTA He needs to be the one at home waiting for these people if he made the appointments. Stop letting him do this, he won't stop until you say no. If he had told you beforehand that he was arranging things, okay, but he can't just assume you are free to do whatever he wants. Comment 2. NTA He needs to learn some impulse control. I would suggest sitting him down and give examples of how this behavior is disruptive to the whole family. Maybe float the idea that when he has these impulses to put them on a to-do list and revisit them in 2 weeks and see if it still seems like a good idea. One thing I would not do is capitulate and stay home for that visit. That's just reinforcing that he can get what he wants by continuing to act this way. Also, try to get him to articulate why something needs to be done ASAP, other than that's what he wants. If he can justify it, then it can wait. Comment 3. NTA The rule should be that he can't make an appointment for you to keep without clearing it with you first. The fact that he so easily takes advantage of you and your free time is not okay. If he wants ears pierced, then he can find the place and make the appointment and take your daughter. I'm sure it will be a wonderful memory for them to share, not. If he wants a stationary bike so freaking bad, he can do the research, make the appointment and meet the seller. You need to stop enabling this behavior ASAP,